what's up, I'm Brian here, doing another video for you guys, and this time, sit tight and grab a bag of popcorn or whatever you want to eat, and we're gonna run down through this new listing for some Transformers Studio Series, Legacy, and some Lex figures for 2022. Now, take everything with a grain of salt. Some things are subject to change even with this listing. And so yeah, let's just go ahead and run through this. This is a more reliable source compared to some of the other ones out there, so I just wanted to explain that. That's why I believe this more so than some of the other things. Now, I also want to explain that some of the things are going to be repeated, not only from previous videos, but because that these are going to be mostly the shipments. So you know how we get a shipment of certain waves? Well, that seems to be the case here. Also, another thing I need to mention is that you're going to see repeats of some of the Kingdom figures, as well as some figures from the other waves that were already talked about. Like, let's say, oh, I mentioned this from Kingdom, Legacy Core Wave 1, and then it's also in Wave 2. The reason why is because it's just a repack. Some people think that's a lazy thing, but no, that's just a repack. It's a continuation of its release. It's the same thing with the Kingdom and Earthrise Optimus Prime. It only changed the packaging so that they could further on the release of that toy. So that's all it is. It's not a new thing. It's not a lazy thing. Hasbro has been doing that for years, so I wanted to clarify on that. Anyways, the first thing we gotta talk about is Legacy. So this is apparently going to be the upcoming line that's going to replace the War for Cybertron trilogy. For core class, we've got a Skywarp, and it seems like the first pack is going to have two of them. So it seems to be a Starscream core class redeco. Curious to see if we'll get a Thundercracker, or if it's going to be like Robots in Disguise, and we're going to get a Skywarp Starscream, and that's it. I'd imagine maybe down the line we're going to get a Toys R Us exclusive. Maybe in the Buzzworthy Bumblebee lineup, we're going to get a 2-pack with Thundercracker, because out here we have the Toys R Us exclusive lineup, and usually they put out the Thundercracker in that, so I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. We're also getting apparently a core class Hot Rod that was rumored for a while, and apparently there's going to be 3 in the pack, and then we're also going to have Iguanus. Now, I thought that this was going to be the Beast Wars version, but it might be actually the Pretender version, and I think what they're going to do, and I think this is why they're called core class, is because they're going to do the core characters of the Pretenders, but they're not going to do the Pretender shells themselves, because of some of the other figures that are coming out in this lineup, but we'll talk about that later on. So you're going to get that. In Wave 2, we also have another repack of Iguanus. We also have Optimus Prime, and it says PR. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I thought it was Transformers Prime, but then we also have a Galvatron that also says PR. And I think it's just a repack from the previous lineup. So we also have a G2 Megatron, so I can imagine that it's going to be like this, but just painted up in green. I'm kind of hoping for the combat version, but I think it's going to be a green version of this. And then we also have a Shockwave. So of course we got the Voyager one. If it's like this with the War for Cybertron lineup, where the core class figures are based on the bigger ones, then it's probably going to look like that. Definitely not with the armor setup, I don't think, but the core main figure, I think it's going to be like that. Hopefully it's going to be a handheld piece that you can use for some of the other bigger figures. I think that'd be pretty awesome. And it makes me think, if they're going to do that with Shockwave, I wonder if they're going to do that with the Pretenders and somehow mix those up, with the mainline figures. But that also makes me think that if Shockwave is not going to be a handheld weapon and transform into that, maybe it's going to be like Core Class Megatron, where he has the handheld weapon, and they're going to do something like that. That would actually be pretty cool. Maybe his arm will come off and that arm blaster thing will be his cannon or something. I don't know. Anyways, moving on, we also have Wave 3. The contents may change on this, but it seems like we're going to have a Soundwave, which seems to be a repack of the previous one. We're also getting an Energon monster, and it seems like we're going to get 3 of them in a pack, and then Skullgrin. So that is the main reason why I think the Iguanus is going to be the Pretender version and not the Beast Wars version. For deluxe class figures, we also have Skids. It seems like we're going to get 2 in a pack, so that's pretty awesome. I'm very curious to see how Skids looks. We're also getting a drag strip, a Transformers Prime version of RC. I'm hoping this one is good, because RC has not had a good track record. And then also it seems like we are going to get Kickback in the first wave. In the second, we are supposedly getting a Prime Knockout. We're going to get 2 of them each. By the way, all these deluxes seem to be 2 per pack. But anyways, it seems like we're going to get a Prime Knockout. Seems like we're going to get an Elita one, which I imagine might be just a repaint of the one that came out from the Netflix line. We're also going to get a Tarantula, so it seems like he was bumped down to Wave 2, which I'm totally fine with, because at least we're getting a Tarantula, so I don't mind. And then we're also going to get a Wild Rider, so it seems like they're going to separate all the Stunticons in different waves, which is a little unfortunate, but that's just how it is. We're also going to get in Wave 3 Point Blank, Crankcase, an Energon monster, which might be the new gimmick line, like the fossilizers and the weaponizers, modulators. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. And we're also going to get a Dead End. Now, Wave 4, again, the contents are not final in this listing, but it seems like we are going to get a breakdown, which would make a lot of sense, because he would be the last one we need to get for the deluxe Stunticons in order to make the Metasaur setup. For the Voyager class, Wave 1, we're going to get apparently 2 blasters per pack. So it's kind of confusing whether or not Blaster was supposed to be in Kingdom or Studio Series. There was a big rumor going around that he was going to be a Wave 5 figure, but I think they're going to move along and bring him into the Legacy lineup, personally. But, it's just all a mix-up. I think Hasbro was just undecided about that figure, but it seems like he's going to be in Legacy. He might just be a repack of the Kingdom figure, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. The other figure we're going to get, apparently, is Bulkhead. Now, some people speculate that this is going to be the animated design, not so much the Prime design, or it might be a mixture of those. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure if it's going to be the animated design, because I'm not sure Hasbro really has the rights to that. I think it's Cartoon Network, but I could be entirely wrong. For Wave 2, apparently we're going to get a Prime Soundwave. So I'm a little excited for that. I love Transformers Prime, so I am totally on board with the Prime Soundwave. We're also going to get Jaxus, whatever it is. So a while back, they repainted the Armada Starscream into this character, and it seems like we're going to get that again, but it's going to go backwards because Wave 3 gets the Armada Starscream. And I'm super excited with the fact that that's going to be a Voyager class figure. It also seems like we're going to get a Beast Wars version of Inferno. Now, Inferno was rumored a while back as well with the Target listings, but we weren't entirely sure which one we were going to get because, people wanted the Beast Wars version, but also the Kingdom version is out there, so it could have been just a repack of that. But seeing that this is going to be a Wave 3 figure, I think it's going to be the Beast Wars Inferno, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. For the leader class, we're also going to get a Laser Optimus Prime. So I could imagine down the road we're going to get a Scourge. I'm really hoping we get a Scourge. I'm hoping that it's probably going to be another Voyager figure with the big setup, but it kind of makes sense with the Laser Optimus Prime, so I'm not worried about that. And also, we got that G2 Megatron that came out a while back, so that's going to be awesome to get with that Laser Optimus Prime. For Wave 2, it seems like we're going to get a Galvatron Repack. And then for Blitzwing, I mean, that's going to be awesome. We got the Astro Train, so, why not more triple changers in the leader class? I think that's perfect, because I do like Springer a lot, but I think for the engineering, they kind of need that leader class price point, so I'm totally fine with Blitzwing. And then for Wave 3, we're going to get Dragon Megatron. Now, there's some speculation that apparently Dragon Megatron is not going to be that good, so my expectations for that toy has kind of dwindled a little bit, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, for Commander class, we also have Motormaster, which is a big name that was going around for quite a while, so he's going to probably have the combiner components that would fit with all the other deluxe class Stunticons. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And then for Titan, this is Cybertron Metroplex, so based on the Galaxy Force version. Some people wanted a remix or a retread of the G1 version because they think that the original Titan Metroplex can be updated to fit a more blocky aesthetic, but I'm totally fine if it's the Cybertron Metroplex. So that is the Legacy lineup. We also have Studio Series, so a lot of this is going to be for the Bumblebee lineup, so they're going to be the TF6 figures, they're the 6th live-action movie, that's why they're called TF6. All the original cartoon animated movie figures are going to be 86, and then you're also going to see TF3 and TF2, that's for, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon and whatnot. So, moving on, we also have a TF6 Ravage in the Studio Series core class, because that's going to be introduced in Studio Series, so that's awesome. I imagine it's going to be, it says TF6, so it's going to be the Bumblebee movie version of him. So that tells me that if we get a Soundwave, that he's not going to be packed with a Ravage. We also have a TF6 Shockwave, which I find kind of surprising that we're going to get that in the core class lineup, but that's just how it is. For Wave 2, it seems like we're going to get repacks of those two characters, and then we're also going to get an 86 Spike, which is perfectly awesome because the one that came with Slag was not good, or Slug, or whatever you want to call him. And then for Wave 3, we also have Wheelie, which is another 86 figure, which is perfectly awesome because I hate that thing from Grimlock. I love the Grimlock itself, but I hate the Wheelie. And then it also seems like we're going to get an 86 Ratchet, which you can definitely speculate that we're going to get an 86 version of Ironhide. In fact, I think there was a rumor on that. Wave 4, we're going to get a 86 Wheelie, again, repacked. We're also going to get a Transformers 3 Laserbeak, the Dark of the Moon version. And I'm kind of curious to see exactly what he transforms into, because he transforms into multiple things in the movie. And then we're also going to get an 86 Rumble. Apparently there's going to be 3 in a pack. For the deluxe lineup, we're going to get an 86 Perceptor, which we already knew about, so, don't really have to talk too much about that. But his wave mates we didn't know about. We've got a TF6 version of Ratchet, which I believe there's going to be an Ironhide. There's a TF6 version of Wheeljack, so that's pretty cool. I'm curious to see that. And a TF6 version of Brawn. You can definitely bet that I'm really excited for that one. For Wave 2, we're going to get a repack of Wheeljack, a repack of Ratchet, and then we're also going to get a TF6 version of RC. Apparently there's going to be 3 in the set. And, like I said, a TF6 version of Ironhide. So they're definitely going to be focusing on the Transformers 6 or Bumblebee Movie version of the figures. For the Wave 3, we're going to get an 86 RC, which I imagine is just going to be the Earthrise RC. Then we're going to get a TF2 Sideways. So that is the Revenge of the Fallen Sideways. That one I'm pretty excited for. So yes, we are going to get some Michael Bay movie figures. So don't worry too much about that. And then we're also going to get a Transformers 3, so Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, which, okay, I'm totally fine with. I like that version of Bumblebee. It's going to be weird with the chest. I kind of didn't like that design where it had that thing on the front of it, but whatever. I still don't mind. And then, as far as Wave 4, we're going to get a repack of Perceptor, a repack of RC, the 86 version, and then we're going to get a TF5 Hot Rod. Not sure if they're going to rework it or if it's going to be the same thing that we got from the Transformers Last Night lineup, because they did repack the Cogman. And then we're also going to get a TF4 Crosshairs, which I prefer over the Last Night version. I know there's subtle differences with that, but still. And I'm excited to see a Crosshairs. I did like that character in the movie, so yeah, I'm totally fine with it. And for Voyagers, we've got TF6 Soundwave, so this is the Bumblebee movie version, so obviously he's going to work with the Ravage. And then we've also got an 86 version of Hot Rod that is a variant. I imagine it might be maybe a black variant of Hot Rod, but considering that it's going to be part of the 86 lineup and not something from the selects, I imagine it's probably going to be maybe a pinker version of the Hot Rod. I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, moving on, we also have Wave 2, so TF6 Soundwave, again, this is just going to be a repack, and the 86 Junkyard. We already knew about this with the Wreck-Gar, so I can't wait for that, because I really like the Wreck-Gar, and I want someone for him to drive with, and I don't just want to buy another Wreck-Gar, so yeah, Junkyard, totally fine with that. And then Wave 3, we have a TF6 Thundercracker, so again, this is Bumblebee movie, and a Transformers 4, so Age of Extinction, Galvatron. So, there was actually a mention of this a couple of days ago that these two were going to be in a wave set, so that's going to be awesome. Leaders, we're also getting, of course, the 86 Starscream. We already knew about that. We're getting an 86 Sludge in Wave 2, so that's awesome. And a TF2, so Revenge of the Fallen. Finally, the main lead character or villain who's in the title is finally getting a toy. We pretty much have mostly everyone from Revenge of the Fallen, except for the main character, the Fallen. It's about time. Anyways, for the Legacy Selects, we have the Titan Black Zarek, which we already knew about. We also have a Deluxe Class Clampdown, so yes, deep cover and Clampdown. We've got the deep cover, we were waiting for that, and then we got the Clampdown, so that's pretty awesome. We also have a Voyager Cyclonus, which is based on Armada, and I'm very curious to see this because Usually with the Selects lineup, they're all repaints, so I don't know exactly what that's going to be. Now, some people are probably speculating that it's Rotor Storm, but Rotor Storm was a deluxe class figure, so what exactly is the Voyager? Maybe it's been bumped up to a Voyager because it's going to come with something of a Micromaster. Maybe it's going to come with one of the Micromasters that is going to be repacked as a Minicon. I meant to say Minicon, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We also have a deluxe lift ticket, which was an original repaint of Hoist that was painted in red. I think it was a BotCon or convention exclusive, I guess. We also have a deluxe DK3, which I believe is actually a repaint of the I'm messing up on my words now. A repaint of the Trailbreaker. There we go. Actually, Trailbreaker was a repaint of him because this is going to be the Diaclone version of that character. And then we also have Deluxe Guard, which I'm not entirely sure what that is. I tried to look around and couldn't really find much or anything specific, so your guess is as good as mine. But that is the listings. A lot of figures, a lot of things to be excited for. What do you guys think? Please comment below. Let me know. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. And I will see you guys next time.
AllSpark TV. Now that's just prime.